All right. Good morning. Take number 2. I actually really hate saying that, but that's what happened. This camera flipped out after a minute and change, and I just kept rambling on. So all that's wasted and gone. Uh, Not even in the can, as they would say, right? So, yeah. So I don't know what happened. I think that it had the phone had a software update, and so like a fool, I decided to just turn the phone on after the updates and let it do its thing, and then start recording. But of course, when it shut off, I turned it back on, and it said, phone software has been updated. Okay, I had to click OK, so that crushed my video. Anyways, so it is now 6 o'clock, right about. It was before 6 on the last video take, but now it's 6 o'clock. So I did get up at 5:30, not super early, but you know, early enough that I can get things done this morning. And yeah, I was, I did get up at 5:30, and I spent 20 minutes reflecting and planning this morning. I didn't do it last night, just too tired mentally. I was like, I just can't do it. So I got home last night, and I was just exhausted and wiped out. Probably a little bit physically tired too. Just running around all day yesterday. I did get a lot of things done. I did get my finance, looked at my monthly finances, where they are for the business, and so what I need to do to cover things. And then I got that done, and then I also had a 1.5 hour call with Wendy and June from marketing, which went really well. And they ended up giving me my email list, which they cleaned, and they said like out of 12,000 and almost 13,000 emails, I ended up with almost 11,000 that they said were good emails. So that's seems pretty good to me. Over 10,000. So it's a great start. So I'm gonna have to really start pushing on that. Where I'm gonna what I'm gonna do, email campaign. Excuse me. I am tired, but I still forced myself to get up this morning. So a little bit of yawning here and there. Anyway, so I got to do that today, and so I'm going to work on that. I'm also going to work on what my bottom line what my bottom line finances, where I am bottom line as far as per person. And it's tough because obviously the bigger the groups are, or the busier we get per hour, the lower the number that number is. But there is a core number, like per person, like what's my baseline per person, and I've got to really dial that in, because that does fluctuate, because there's points. It's a points based system on what we pay for the experiences and things like that. So let me just make sure this is rolling. It is rolling. Man, it is hot out this morning. It's not even hot. It is just, it's the weather is just fully saturated. The humidity is just off the charts. It rained all night. It's 80 degrees out at 5 in the morning or 5:30 in the morning, and it is just like soup out here. I feel like I'm in South Carolina. I feel like I'm back at boot camp or something. That's literally what I feel like. I walked outside. I was like, oh man. Um. Anyways, yeah, yesterday went really well. Even though I felt really just tired and worn out. I almost felt like I was like, is this burnout? And I've been feeling that past couple weeks, so I'm not really sure what's going on. But even this morning, I get up and I'm tired, but I feel like, mentally, slight sparks, things like that. I did have a meeting yesterday. It was, I was on a rooftop, uh, kind of patio, at a restaurant. So it was really hot out. It was 95 and 97 degrees, something like that yesterday, and sunny. And I was under an umbrella, but only half of me was under the umbrella. So I was like, after an hour, I was like, all right, I gotta go. We gotta continue this inside. I can't do this out here. Too hot, too much. I was like dripping sweat in a meeting. Like, this isn't good. So that was, I did that, and then from there, I went right to Ethos, and kind of was there for about a half hour. Kind of just showed my face, saw Jean, saw Robert, uh, met someone that's part of that ecosystem as well. Her name was Spectra, which is a pretty cool name, right? And so we chatted for a few minutes, and that was pretty interesting. So she put me on to, like what I've been kind of knew, but hadn't been thinking about, which is uh, virtual reality, like for Key to Amaze, can't be sold with as virtual reality, because not many people are looking for it, but they are looking for unique experiences. And that kind of went back to the whole thing of stop doing boring things, which is what I was doing earlier on with stuff on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, and it seemed to engage reasonably well, because she was like, yeah, she's like, everyone's looking for something not boring. No one wants to go and go to dinner again, or go bowling, or things like, or whatever it is. It's like, she's like, everyone's looking for different things, unique things to do, and that's what we are. We are a unique experience, and the whole idea of being able to go and you know work with your significant other to achieve an objective, defending your town or killing your significant other. There's value in that, right? Or killing your boss, going somewhere and killing your boss. It's like, you can't do that in real life, but you can do that in VR. And, the dynamics that can help create, and just the fun factor in strengthening relationships in ways that they couldn't be, that bonding, which is what teams are looking for, and so when when you have a partner in life, that you're a team. So that's important. That's really, I think, a really good way to market this at this point. It's really powerful. So that was a good meeting, and then I had to rush over to Kenmore because I had a one person booking at 8 p.m. And that guy, he ended up having a really good time. Chatted with him for a few minutes, talked for a few. He worked for Amazon, or works for Amazon on a very small team. He wants to bring his team there. He said 4 to 6 people, but they are working on AI. They're building their own AI at Amazon, obviously, and they're trying to. The whole idea is putting, as he said, Alexa on steroids. So we'll see where that goes for them. But yeah, it was an interesting day. Ended up getting home 10 o'clock, right around there, but absolutely wiped out. And this humidity doesn't help. It's like I said, it's 100% humidity. So I don't have a lot of time today either this morning. I do have to leave the house my goal is to be out of the house by 11, as far as, getting to Kenmore, because we have a 1 o'clock group, but we have one headset that has to be seriously trouble shot, because it's a big group. We need all 12 headsets, so we have to have them all working, and one of them is just not working. So I think it's going to be uninstalling or reinstalling some software, and then potentially some hardware issues as well. So that's going to be, hopefully we can get that up and running and fixed before the group shows up. And I have some other maintenance on some other headsets and things like that I want to take care of. But the overall idea is, yeah, I got to get there, get that done. And then after that, I have a meetup that's like a fireside chat at 5:15 in Boston. So I have a little bit of time in between. So I'm just going to keep working on marketing and social media, and figuring out, doing blogs and things like that, and how to tie, how to tie that stuff in with social media, how to link, say, hey, check out this new blog on this, or check this out, or check that out. I think it's just all about being, present and aware, and letting people know that we are there, and making them aware that we are there. So, yeah, so that's kind of, my day today. Hope that chat, the fireside chat / meetup starts at 5:15. Shouldn't be go much later than 7:30. And then hopefully I'll be home early tonight, because I'm already feeling tired, but hopefully it's just the humidity, because I'm literally standing here sweating. I can feel it. And so, hot and sticky. Anyways, yeah. And then the other thing I was thinking is, I was listening to a podcast last night. Before I get into that, I'm gonna make sure this is still recording. All right, still going. So one of the things I was looking at or listening to was a podcast, and I don't even know how it popped up on my YouTube, but I listened to it anyways. But it was, kind of the overall was talking about breaking through different barriers as an entrepreneur, limiting beliefs or whatever it was. But one of the things I was realizing is, brick and mortar, I'm not sure it's 100% for me. uh, you know, and that's, it's hard to say, because I've come from a background that is all brick and mortar, where it's like, well, as far as like, real estate, right? But it's very hard to build. It's, and there's a lot around it. And, not to say that there's, you always say the grass is greener on the other side, right? But there's a lot of things. You have so many rules and regulations with it, and you have to have a team, and you have all this overhead, that things you don't might not have. It's like I said, like building something, like putting together this proposal for the Museum of Science, where I can, where it's a software product that can be outsourced and and built. That's a big difference. So, or Nonarev, review platform, things like that. Those are very different products. So I'm looking at potentially, like, do I want to get this revenue wise to where it should be, so that I can then sell it, as a business, and that might be something that I look into seriously, like seriously look at doing. Not 100% sure, but that's kind of really where I'm thinking of going. And that brings my building up. It's like, okay, do I want my building? I have to, if I keep it, I have to find someone that's going to lease it, and leasing it has other issues. You know what I mean? It means that, even though they're releasing potentially the whole building, I still have to deal with any of the exterior maintenance of the building, potentially, unless I build that in. But I'm not really sure. So I have to figure that out. I've always had real estate, and you can do quite well with it. Obviously, I mean, there's billionaires that have real estate, and that's one of the biggest wealth creators in the world is real estate. Um, so if I sell it, I really, besides the house, I wouldn't have any other real estate. So I'm not really 100% sure if that's the route I want to go, but I'm really heavily thinking about it. So, you know, but uh, but right now it's focusing on getting Key to Amaze where it needs to be revenue wise, and not, you know, not feeling, trying to understand why I'm feeling burnt out. Which, a lot of people would say, well, that makes sense. You push every day, 7 days a week. So what? That's part of life. And even if I, and as far as, if I decide that selling the business is the right way to go, which might be, if I do that, which wouldn't be a bad thing, if I can get it, going into year 5, this is year 4. 2 years were COVID, but this is year 4 technically. But if I can get into year 5, and get this, where it needs to be, and sell it for a decent profit, then it's probably worth it to me, to do that and to exit it. And I live and learn. Every day you live and you learn, right? That's a very underrated statement. Live and learn. You have to live life in order to learn. And if you're not learning, you're not taking those lessons with you, then that's the mistake that most people make, right? But learn from the mistakes. Learn, take value out of everything. It's like every single day. It's like you live every day. What did you learn today? And that's something that, like, even if I don't reflect at night, like on paper, I am doing, like mentally. I'm literally saying out loud, as I'm, thanking the universe for the day. I'm like, hey, thanks. This was a great day. These are the things that I learned today, and kind of puts me in that mindset when I go to sleep, uh, to understand deeper, at a deeper level, what the lessons that I learned were. So that's really important, especially as an entrepreneur, but as anybody in life. It's like, if you want to grow your personal relationships, if you want to grow at your job, whatever you're doing, if you want to grow as a student, you have to take those lessons every single day. And that, live and learn, concept, I think is just a really, really underrated statement. It's a simple, but it's powerful. Live and learn. 3 words. And but super powerful. Super powerful statement. And I think it's just super underrated. It's so, yeah. So hopefully you are up and you are living your life and you are learning. Hopefully you're up. I'm done. This is, like I said, take 2. So hopefully it's still going. But yeah, I'm gonna get my day going. I'm gonna get the air conditioning on because it is just crazy hot and soupy in here. And until tomorrow, hopefully you're catching your dreams, crushing your goals. Peace out.